Hello, hello. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Axel from Get Speaking English. Just realizing I forgot to play the little video. That's alright. We are here to do this crossword today. And if the little video had played, if I had actually done it, you would know that we're going to work on this crossword together. I am live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So you can watch on either Facebook or Twitch. But you can play on YouTube. I would recommend playing on YouTube. It's a little bit better. So how this is going to work is that I am going to direct the conversation. I'm going to let you know which question we're going to work on when. I'm going to give you lots of additional information about the question, little like, I don't know, tips, or not tips, but it's early here, hints and extra information and things like that to help you figure out the answer along with me. So if you think you know what an answer is, put it in the chat and we will figure it out together that way. So that's how this is going to work. Just a couple like little things to know, because I did not play the video. I should have played the video. But this is an American crossword, so they're going to use American spelling. So that is the thing to keep in mind. It's also useful to know that the word form in the question is going to be the same as the word form in the answer. So for example, if there is a noun in the question, the answer is also going to be a noun. If it's a plural noun in the question, it'll be a plural in the answer. If it's an adjective, it will be if there's an adjective in the question, it'll be an adjective in the answer. Verbs will correspond as well too. If something is maybe like, uses the ing form in the question, it'll be an ing form verb in the answer. So all of that is useful to keep in mind. Trying to think of if there are other details. It's been so long since I've just had to say how this works. Anyways, that is basically how it works. I will say another thing as well. Please don't jump ahead. So for example, if we are talking about question 1 down, don't start talking about question 23 across, okay? I don't want to hear it. So we're going to work on this together. And yeah, we're going to work on the same question together at the same time. So anyways, like I said, you can watch on Facebook and Twitch. If you would like to play, come over to YouTube. It's better there. It's faster. Hello, Jacqueline! It's good to see you. How is your day going? What is it like over there? Here it's been very sunny and we haven't had rain in a really long time. But it's been nice though. It's very typical sunny weather here happening and not super hot. Doesn't get super hot where I live, but it's definitely been warm. Hello, Sword, welcome. Hello, it's good to see you. Well, thanks for coming, guys. Yeah. Monday might be my new day for playing this, because Monday seems to be the only thing that I don't have a lot of things going on in the morning. Anyway, sorry to do that for a while. So let's get right to it, I guess. I didn't think very hard about which one we're gonna do, so we might get through this, might not get through this, but let's see. See what we can do. I'm gonna look for an obvious one. I'm gonna look for a good one to start on. 3 down. Let's start with 3 down. To take as one's own. To something. I think I have enough. To take as one's own would mean maybe to bring somebody into your family. So maybe take somebody who is not part of, like, who's not directly related to you, and make them part of your family. That's what we mean here, to take somebody as your own. We mean to bring them into your family and treat them like a member of the family. So that is sort of what we're looking for here. The type of word we're looking for: adopt. Exactly, to adopt somebody. Take them into your home, treat them like family. Exactly. Nice. D-O-P-T. Okay. Great. Talk nonsense. Not sure what this one is. Stood up. Let's do this one. 13 across. This will be easy. I think stood up. So stood up, right? We know that this is the past form or past participle of stand, right? To stand, stood, and stood, right? So stood up. So our answer here is also going to be a past form or past participle of our verb, I think. So if you stand up, right, you go from being seated to standing, right? So if you stood up, I can't spell. You went from being seated to standing, like on your feet, right? You went on your feet, basically. So, oh, so something, something, oh, something, something. Remember, this is the past form or past participle of a verb. So yeah, so basically you got to your feet, right? So something like that. You know what I was kind of thinking too? Because I know sometimes I just put letters in here to like help people out. We could guess letters as well. If you have a guess, if you would like to, I don't know, maybe guess a letter, and help us figure it out that way. Put it in the chat. It would be cool. We could do like a hangman deal. Or something. We have like a letter. Do you remember Hangman? Where it's like, oh, I want to guess like an R for, no, not an R. Let's do R. But like N, for example. And I would say, you know, there's no N here. So, but there is a E here. There is an E in this word. So there is an E in this word, if that helps you out. It's something about getting to your feet. There's also an A in this word as well. I'll put an A in here. S. There is an S in this word. Yes, there is an S here. Welcome, Phil. All right, we do have an S here. Nice. We're kind of like Hangman right now. I thought it would be maybe a more interesting way to reveal the answer than me just adding letters. I don't know. So if you think you know what the word is, a rose, exactly. A rose. So that would be like to arise, arose, arisen is gonna be the past participle there. Perfect. All right. Great job. Okay, moving right along. Let's do... Let's do this one, I guess. So a spigot, where would you find a spigot? A spigot is something you might find in a bathroom, let's say, maybe. It is a little thing that lets you get water out of like a sink, for example. You turn a spigot to release water. Typically, this is what happens. So there's another word for that, a tap. Exactly, tap. So let's put tap in here. Awesome. Still have no idea what this is. This talk nonsense thing. Trade booster. I'm not sure what this one's is either. Dr. Seuss's environmental hero. I might get this one. Oh, let's do this one maybe. 16 across. 16 across. To tell tales. So if you tell tales, basically you tell maybe stories that are not necessarily true, right? Maybe a little bit of, I don't want to say fiction, but basically you, whatever this word here might be, of not telling the truth. Thanks for stopping in, Sword. It was really good to see you. I hope you have a really good rest of your afternoon or evening. See you. Lie. Exactly. If we tell tales, if we are telling tales, we are lying. L-I-E. All right. Ba ba ba. I feel like this is like a thing that Americans say. I don't know if we're gonna know. We might know what this is. This is kind of like I think this is part of, like, where does this come from? It's from a song. It's like an American patriotic song. It's like the name of a song, I think. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna know this one. That's a good question. If you have a guess as to what this is, 4 down. I'm talking about 4 down here. We have an S here. It's basically like a little gap fill, but nobody would say this. It's kind of like, it's a very old-fashioned sort of way of speaking. I don't think you guys are gonna know this one. Is something of the I'm trying to think, where else might we see this word? We might also see this word in You'll never say this, but something this season to be jolly. I think part of another song lyric. It is tis. Yeah. Like it's, but tis. Sort of a very old fashioned, very outdated, nobody speaks this way, but word. So tis. Yeah. Anyways. Thank you. I'm kind of glad we got this one. Because these ones I'm not sure. We have too many trivia things up here. Let's do... I found it. Because of 1 and 10. Okay, yeah. Oh, do you know what 10 is? Okay, nice. Yeah, okay. Let's do 1 and 10 then. That's great. So the Kiss sculpture, because honestly, I'm not 100% sure what this one is. I think I know what this one is. I know what this one is. So let's do 10 across first. Whatever 10 across. The Kiss sculpture. I'm not a very cultured person. But 10 across. Rodin. Okay, nice. Yes. Okay. Uh-oh. I was just about to like look it up. Okay. Yes, I definitely recommend, or I definitely recognize that painting. For sure. Plato, the student of Socrates. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's put that in here. Okay. All right, awesome. Awesome. I don't know what this one is. Let's do... Let's do this one. 17 down. Frozen over. So something frozen over... Covered in... covered in ice, right? We're looking for an adjective here, though. 17 down is going to be an adjective. Ice, something. This is an adjective that we would use to describe something that is covered by very cold, hard, frozen water. Basically, something like that. Icy. Exactly. Icy. Why? Let's put icy in here. Awesome. And maybe this one? 22. One or more. If you ask for, if you ask for one or more of something, you basically are asking if you can have whatever this word is. We'll use this word a lot in like questions, for example. Especially if you don't know if something is available or not, like if something is actually there. Like, for example, do you have tea, for example? Very common question word here that we use. And then, of course, if we know that something is available, then we would use some, right? Yeah, it's like sure, I'll, can I have, some tea if you know it's there? Yeah, any, exactly. If you don't know if there is any or not. So you don't know if it exists. Exactly. Hey, any. So let's put any. A-N-Y. Alright. So far, so good. Super helpful that we were able to get all of this done, because I wasn't Sure about some of these. Like some rural bridges. So something rural, we're talking about something sort of in the countryside, right? Outside of the city, outside of major urban centers, right? You know, where the roads might be very, very narrow, right? Right? Because typically if you're in the city, right, there maybe are multiple, whatever these things are, for cars to drive on. But in the middle of nowhere, a road might just consist of one of these. One line, not quite what we're looking for. Something. The E definitely goes here. The E is correct. But basically, like the little, like the sort of like the individual pathways that a car can go on. You know what I mean? Like as in a, like, because in a city, roads typically would have, you know, multiple, or at least two, usually, right? Try to get a picture. And so typically a road would typically have, you know, at least two of these, right? Usually, right? So cars can go one direction, cars can go in another direction, right? But in the countryside, they might not even be this wide, you know? Or at least over here, you know? They might be like that. We have just like, I know it looks like this person is like biking on here, but you know, it's like basically just room for one car, one lane, exactly. Each of these things are called lanes. Exactly. So I think rural bridges, some of them might be one lane, and they're using it kind of like as a adjective here, a one lane bridge, basically. So we're a bridge with one lane, sort of as a compound adjective. Nice. All right. Great. What else can we do here? Diner, desserts, longings. Let's do this one, maybe? Less diluted. So if you dilute something, basically you add water to it to make it less, what we would say, less concentrated. You would make, if something is like very is like concentrated, like it's a very like untainted, like full form of something. But if you dilute it, you add water to it, you basically kind of weaken it, if that kind of makes sense. Trying to explain it without getting too much of the answer here. So we are looking though for a adjective here. Something, something. A comparative adjective. So something is maybe something, you know, than something else. So that's, we're looking here, the type of adjective we're looking for. Something to say that it is not diluted. So looking for, yeah, an adjective to say something is not diluted or is not altered. is not diluted or altered or weakened. It's basically untouched, untainted, pure, exactly, not mixed with anything else, basically. Pure. P-U-R-E-R. Awesome. Yes. Nice. P-U-R-E-R. All right. Great job. What else? What else do we got here? So fit for a king, fury. Oh, I think we could figure out what this one is, actually. This diner desserts. So something. At diner, it's a very casual sort of American eatery, right? Very casual American style eatery, restaurant, basically, where maybe you can get, usually you can get like, maybe like, you know, burgers and fries and like that kind of food. And these things here, these are things. These are a common dessert offering found at a diner. They usually have different options available. They're baked in the oven, usually. They have like a crust, usually, with like a filling of some sort. Usually like a fruit filling or something, but there are also different types that, you know, don't have fruit. Very common dessert item. I'm about to get a picture here of what this thing might be. Pies! Yes, exactly. I was about to get a picture. Here you go. Some pies. Actually, this picture is a little bit interesting. This must be like they must have been talking about, I don't know, Thanksgiving here or something, because pumpkin pie is a very common like Thanksgiving thing. Also apple pie. This one here, down here, is a pecan pie. And I know that this nut is kind of hard to find outside of North America, apparently. But that is what that nut is. Those are pecans. They're pretty tasty. I like pecans. Longings. What? Choose job, list of candidates. Goodness, what are we going to do? I think we could do this one. Pilot's guess. We're looking for an abbreviation here. It's sort of an abbreviation we might use to, if we weren't exactly sure when we would get somewhere, we might give an whatever this is. So if we're unsure about exactly when we'll get somewhere, we may give an whatever this is. Something. It's an abbreviation. An abbreviation, basically an approximation of when we will arrive. And we'll hear this a lot with like, you know, at airports and things like that, you know, because you know, it's usually hard to predict exactly when a flight will get in, right? But they will give these approximations about when it will get in. So, This is 18 across, by the way. That wasn't obvious. What of these words, so like, or each of these letters stand for a word? There is a T in this, I think. So we're gonna put a T here. That T stands for time. We have something. Haven't flew in a very long time. Haven't flew. To fly, flew, flown. I wonder if we can. Well, this first word is a synonym for basically approximation, if that makes, or like a guess, you know? It is an, I think that's enough. Nobody saw it, we don't remember it. Yeah, I think we've seen this before. And then this one, let's see. So yeah, so this one here is synonym for an approximation or a guess. There is an S here. Is this right? I'm so tired. Anyways, okay, I'm just gonna say it. This is an ETA. Let's just put an ETA. Estimated time of arrival, basically. So if you give an ETA, basically, I'm gonna say approximate, but it's not. Estimate. So estimated time of arrival, basically, that's what that is, an ETA. So you could ask that to people too, if you're like unsure when they're coming. You can ask what their ETA is. We will say that. We will do that. What is your ETA? When are you coming? Or when is it planning on getting done? All right. Let's see here. Lists of candidates. It's a little tricky, kind of. I'm not sure which which one of these to do. 14 across, I guess. For a king. Some sort of word about royalty. I think this is an adjective. An adjective that gets used often when talking about royalty, right? Something fit for a king is something good enough for a king. Something is fit for something. It is good enough for them, or it suits them, right? I wonder. Yes, very special and suitable for a king or queen. Regal! Yes, I'm glad you got that, because I was thinking about hangman. R-E-G-A-L. Something regal. Is fit for a king or queen. R-E-G-A-L. So I'm glad that was easy. And I think I would say royal. Yeah. Well, royal usually isn't. Is royal an adjective? I mean, I guess so. I guess it can be. Yeah, it is an adjective. Yeah. No, definitely regal. Yeah. Yeah, it was a tricky one. So glad you knew it. 9 down. Let's see if we can get this one, maybe. Usher's job. So an usher works is a person who works usually at a theater. Maybe like a movie theater or something. Anyways, these people sort of like hang out in the aisle. So between, you know, the row between the seats. Where people can walk. And they let people find their seats, basically. They help them figure out where to sit. So it's not going to be cedar, but yeah, you're thinking kind of along the right lines. So cedar isn't a word, but yeah, they are responsible for... They're responsible, though, for making sure people get their seats. So let's put the E in here, because you did have the E. It's kind of like this catch-all word, kind of, basically, that refers to, you know, how or where people sit, basically. You know, we might talk about, you know, what are the whatever arrangements, like, you know, basically like where are the seats, like how are they arranged and how many there are or whatever like that. So a word we might use. We might also use it for like seating. Oh no. Word arrangements or like a plan, for example. And this is a noun, by the way, too. This word is a noun. Seating. Exactly. ing. Yeah, sometimes we'll add ing to things and turn it into a noun. One of those examples here. So, you know, we'll use seating to refer to, you know, this available seating in a place, for example. I'll put this in a sentence for us. The seminars are free, but seating is limited. For example. Exactly. So the usher would be responsible for that sort of thing, I guess. All right. So we got seating. That's helpful. Super helpful. Let's see if we can get this one. I think. Longings. If you have a longing for something, you sort of have like this need to do something. So if you have a longing for something, have a a strong need to do something. And usually it's like, if we have a longing, it's like you've had like this long sort of hopeful desire to do something. This answer, I'm gonna put the S here because this is plural. Hey, Maid, welcome. It's good to see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. This answer, I feel, is a little bit more urgent. Sort of like urgent, maybe strong, maybe like desires to do something, maybe. Almost more like an impulse or something. It's very hard to control. It's very strong desires to do something, strong wishes. They're very hard to control. I feel like a longing is a little bit more easier to control, but this one here, it's like almost like an impulse. Maybe similar to impulses, they are hard to control. So I'll put the S here. You know, you might have a very, we might say if you have a, whatever, to do something, yeah, you have like the strong desire. Urges! Yes! Awesome! Thank you! Perfect. You are. Gee, urges. Yes. You have a very strong urge to do something. You feel very compelled to do that. It's very hard to control. I'm going to point this one out here too. Just really quickly, this one here. 7 down, fury. Fury. Sort of a word that refers to anger. Kind of like uncontrollable anger. And ire, this is what ire is. Also very strong, sort of like sense of anger. So this is what this one is, ire. It's a very fancy formal word. Fancy formal word for anger. Pointing it out because this one comes up often in crosswords. So now that we know it, keep that one in mind because I see it often. All right, what else do we got here? 23 across, solitary. If we are solitary, if something is solitary, or something solitary, I should say, if something solitary is basically separate from other things, right? It's kind of like away from other things. So we're looking for an adjective. Like this might be a little tricky. It might be a little tricky because I feel there's a related, like a super related word, very similar. This one's a little less common, but lone, exactly, lone. L-O-N-E. Basically, that means alone. But for example, a lone survivor. Maybe a lone survivor or a lone, you know, I was the lone participant. Means that I did something alone. So basically, awesome. So lone, L-O-N-E. That in there. this one is. I wonder if we can get this one though. Goated. Goated. So we have a past verb here, past participle, something, right? Goaded. If you goad someone, if you basically goad someone to do something, you basically push them or, you know, pressure them into doing something, if that makes sense. Like you're like really pushing them to do something. So there's a similar word to E-G-G-E something. Keep in mind that this is a past form of a verb. It's a phrasal verb we're looking for. A phrasal verb, basically meaning to like basically pushed someone to do something or encouraged somebody to do something. They were egged on. Exactly. Egged on. Egged on. Let's put this in a sentence, maybe to egg someone on. Let's see. This is kind of a great little word or phrasal verb. So basically, to strongly encourage somebody to do something that might not be a very good idea. Yeah, that's a very important part. Usually if we're egging somebody on, same if you're goading somebody to do something, you're encouraging them to do something they probably shouldn't do. You know, don't encourage him. He already gets in a lot of trouble, you know? So don't egg him on. He gets himself into enough trouble without your encouragement. Exactly. All right. I'm just gonna fix this, maybe. There we go. All right, egged on. Yes. So if you egg somebody on, you try to get them to do something bad, usually. All right. Alrighty. Croons, I don't know what this is. I feel like you crude your neck. It's like when you turn your neck really far. Is that right? Maybe not. I don't know what this is. We might know this word though, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But lists of candidates. So we know there's an S here. So I'll put an S here. Lists of candidates. This is 12 down. S-L-A something E-S. These are basically lists who are candidates. Candidates are people usually who are maybe they are running for an election or they are competing basically for something, right? People who are maybe contending for something. So like in politics, for example, the candidates would be all the people who are running for office or a position, for example, something like that. So, So there's a specific word that we might use to refer to like a list of names for this. Wild guesses, slates. Yeah, that is a good guess. And I know I kind of blew it anyways, but slate. Yeah, slate would be a list of candidates. Yeah, a list of people who are considered for a particular job or position, especially in politics. That is the official definition. But sometimes we also use slate for a schedule as well, though, too. We can use that in this, and like in that context as well. You know, what's on the slate for today? If I asked that, I would mean what's on the schedule to for today, or for example, you know, what is slated for today? Same deal. Like, what is scheduled for today? So that's another interesting use of this word as well. The festival is slated to run here January 28th to 7th. So that's a kind of a cool use of this word. Different use. Yeah. All right. What else? Let's maybe do this one, because I think we have a lot of information here now. 19 across. 19 across. And just a second, because this is really big. I don't know why this is really big. But if you're in school, for example... Better. Okay, there you go. If we're in school or university and you know, maybe need to make up some extra marks, like if you need to boost your grade, that's what it means to boost your grade. Basically, improve your grade. You might maybe do some additional projects or something to get whatever this is. Something T something A new word C R something D I T extra credit. Exactly. Extra credit. Yes. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, so we're going to do extra credit to boost our grade. So extra, can't spell our credit. Nice. Nice. Yeah, talk nonsense. I don't know what this one is. I don't know what this word is. So let's... This is a very old-fashioned word, apparently, to talk nonsense. If you talk nonsense, I'll just like get rid of this for a second so you guys can see. One down, talk nonsense. To talk nonsense basically means to basically talk about things that make no sense, that are just crazy. But this word here, I think it's prate. Yeah, it is prate. We wouldn't really say that. It's very old-fashioned, apparently. So, but to talk nonsense though is a great word to know. So, oh, you're talking nonsense. You're not making any sense. What you're saying is crazy. So that's what that is. All right. Wild party and a play place. And we have make healthy. Let's do this one. 28 across. If you make somebody healthy, if you make whatever this word is, some sort of healing word. A healing verb. This is what we're looking for. A verb of healing. And recovery. Healing and recovery. Cure, exactly. You cure them. We would say, I was cured. You know, I was cured, exactly. Yeah. I'm just gonna point out too, just because I know that this is kind of a little bit of a false friend. When we talk about recovery in English, we're talking about the healing process, like when we are actually like that process of healing. And then once you are healed, you are cured. So, exactly. So, great. So, cure. So that's an easy one, I think. What else? Garb for grooms, Chrysler buildings, style, place. I think okay. Place. I know sometimes to play means to maybe, like kids would play, for example, right? Or you would play a game, right? Play a game. Or kids play. But here I think we're talking about play is like a thing that happens in a theater. You know, like a theater production where people will act and things like that. So I think that's what we're talking about here. With actors, etc. So this is a place where a play would happen. So a play usually happens on a whatever this is. Part of the theater. The stage, exactly. It's gonna happen on a stage. STAGE. Exactly. Play usually happens on a stage. STAGE. Perfect. Yes. Yeah. So that works, I think. Let's see. What else? Do any of you guys watch The Simpsons? This is like a Simpsons reference. His neighbor. I know we don't really do trivia, but that would help though. I'm gonna get his picture. Maybe. This guy. Dun, 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 dun. If you've watched or something, maybe you've heard of it. Yes, yeah, very popular show, like over here for sure. I think it's still on like TV too. Something. Landers. That's his last name. Anyways, this guy's Ned. I'm just gonna put it in here because that'll help us. Let's put that in here. Okay. Well, let's do that. Dun, dun. Yeah, let's do 25 down. Let's see if we can get it. So, garb for grooms. What the heck does garb mean? Garb is a word people don't use. So, like, I'm just gonna say that. But here it means, refers to clothing. Okay, so we're talking about garb, we're talking about clothes. This is very outdated, very old-fashioned. People don't really use garb. Yeah, not super common, but we're talking about clothing in a very particular style. And a groom, when people get married, the groom is the guy, the man who is getting married to the woman. The woman is the bride. And tuxedos, exactly. They're going to wear tuxedos. That is the word that we are looking for. TUX. We would short for just like tux, like tuxes. So tux, but for tuxedo. I'm gonna get a picture. just so we can see what a tuxedo is. It's like a suit, but even more formal and fancy. So similar to a suit, you would wear a suit to maybe a business meeting or something. And then you would wear a tuxedo to a very formal event. So let's put that in here. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Looks good. Let's see, what else do we have here? Chrysler Buildings style. Let's do. Oh, let's do this one maybe. Like vistas. A vista is like what you can see, kind of, basically. A vista is basically a view. A very pretty view. Let's say a very, whatever this is. And something view. That is very lovely, very pretty, very nice. There is the word sort of seen in here, but not quite something, but it's an adjective. This is an adjective. This is an adjective that refers to something very beautiful. That, like a very, very, like maybe lots of beautiful nature, for example. It's an adjective used to describe very beautiful nature. Beautiful nature. Scenic is the word we are looking for. Exactly. S-C-E-N-I-C. Yes. There we go. Perfect. Great, great, great. What else? Winter drink. 42 across. Winter drink. Common sort of, I would say, like in cold countries. This is a very sort of classic drink. A classic warm drink. Drank in cold countries during the winter. It's kind of a sweet sort of drink. Kind of a very warm. I'm getting a picture. That's what I'm looking for. You might have this with like some like marshmallows and maybe some whipped cream on top or something. A cup of whatever this is. A cup of cocoa. Exactly. C-O-C-O-A. And if we're not sure, cocoa refers to... This refers to the bean that chocolate is made out of. So we could call this hot chocolate or hot cocoa. Both, we mean the same thing when we are talking about hot chocolate or hot cocoa, because it comes from cocoa beans. Exactly. Another way we would we would find this another place would be like also cocoa powder. Sort of a common ingredient you would use in, you know, making chocolate cake and stuff like that. Cocoa powder. All right. Almost done here, sort of. What else? Old French the church site. Let's do this one, because I think that, I know I don't like focusing on trivia, but let's do this one. The Chrysler Buildings style is sort of designed in a very particular style. I'm getting a picture of the Chrysler Building. at one point, it was it not the tallest building in New York City? I could be wrong. But here is a picture. Art Deco, exactly. It is designed a very classic sort of Art Deco style. DECO. Nice. Okay. Great. That's useful. And here, 44. 44 cross. We can see it? Yes, we can see it. 44 cross. Something tart. I know sometimes tart refers to like a little mini pie, but here we're using it as an adjective, something tart. It kind of has it has like a sharpness to it almost. So something tart has kind of a sharp taste to it. So for example, we might describe lemons to be tart. Okay, so lemons are kind of tart, right? So we might describe lemons as tart. So we're looking for another sort of similar adjective. They are very, whatever this is, S-O, something. So also sort of has like that kind of unpleasant, very astringent, sort of sour. Exactly. S-O-U-R. They're sour. Lemons, limes, notorious for being sour. Grapefruit as well. They're all very tart, all very sour. Alrighty. Church site. I think this one, 31. This church site. I think this is like the table that's sort of at the front of the church. You would find this church site. You would find the whatever this is, something AR at the front of the church. It's kind of like a large table that you'd put maybe offerings and things on it. An altar, exactly. A-L-T-A-R. A-L-T-A-R. So let's put that in here. A-L-T. Nice. And I have no idea what this is. That is Latin. Is this a Latin word or this old French coin? So I'm going to let you guys tell me because I'm sure somebody knows. I'm not sure. So, whatever this might be, I'm gonna give you guys a minute. Because I am not sure what this letter is supposed to be. I have no idea. The name for an old French coin, something Edest and S-O-U. Okay, nice. Yes. Okay, perfect. Great. Sounds good. All right. Thank you. All right. Cool. Nice. All right. Moving right along then. The top card. I think we're talking about like a deck of playing cards here. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about, this is 29 down, by the way. Talking about playing cards here, like a deck of playing cards, right? Yeah, we might. No, I didn't remember. I did not remember that one. No. I'm not very good at a lot of the, unless it's like Latin that we use commonly in English. I'm not that great. But that makes sense though. So that's great. I know, right? Yeah, well, that's why we're doing this. That's why I'm doing crosswords online, so I can get help. Sometimes I don't know. So it's helpful. It's helpful to have other people to figure it out with. Super convenient. Top card. The top card. I think we're talking about like maybe the card with the highest value, I'm going to say. Right, so the deck of playing cards. So in a deck of playing cards, you got what, 52 cards, and they're all divided into 4 suits, right? From like 2 up to the highest, right? We're looking for the highest, the card with the highest value, basically. The whatever card has the highest value in a suit of cards. Is it like that, or I think it's like that? So it has like the highest value. It is the top, the ace. Exactly, the ace. Most valuable card. Top card. All right, so let's put that here. ACE. Perfect. What else? Oh, we have another. They love talking about plays. Love talking about plays. So here again, we're going back to a play, the thing that happens in a theater. This is 29 across, by the way. We're talking again with theater production. And a play is typically divided into several So a play is typically divided into several of these. One part is an, so just like one part of like the whole thing is an, whatever this is, a something. Let's do that. One part is act. Yes, act, exactly. ACT. Great. Great. One with plots. I don't know. You know, they talk about this a lot these days. I feel like this select group, 21 down, the select group, they're talking about like people like sort of at the top, like social wise, sort of like the people who are sort of at like the top, like the top of in refers to like class and things like that. So, you know, they're always saying, so that EL something TE are a group of people who are top of people at the top of the social class, or like the highest social class, basically. The elite. Yes, exactly. We're talking about the elite a lot today. I gotta eat. Okay. Elite. Yes. All right. IT. Okay. Yeah, I wonder what this one is. I think I know what this is. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe. I think this is a sound that a bird makes. Kind of. Yeah, kind of, maybe. It's like a very sort of like pretty kind of musical voice. That's what that is. Oh, I see. Okay, 27 cross. So someone who croons sort of maybe whatever this is, in a very beautiful sort of melodic way. That helps. Sort of with like a anything melodic. This is like music related. Sings. Yeah, sings. Ah, nice. Okay, cool. I feel like we might say that birds do this. I could be wrong though. Yeah, interesting. Hum or sing softly. Oh, that's cool. It kind of has like a opposite meaning as well too, because it could also be to roar or to bellow, so to like basically speak, like yell really loudly. So almost like the opposite. So that's interesting. Okay. Anyways, here it means sings. What else? So we got that. Oh, I wonder if I can figure out this one. This 30 across. 30 across here, this pizza order. So something you might get on pizza if you were putting in an order. Elvis was a crooner. We say that. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's nice. E, X, T, something. A, new word. C, something. E, something, something, something. See if we can guess what this is. Extra cheese? Yes! I think this is extra cheese. Yeah, that's cool that that you guys have that saying. I've not heard that before, but that's really great. Yeah, it was really bothering me. Like what does this word mean? Like I couldn't remember. But yeah, that's cool. E-S-E. Right. All right. One who plots. Let's see if we can. We'll get back to this one. Let's do 32 down instead. 32 down. Elvis Presley. Yes. Famous American singer. To wear away. Here too. If something wears away, if something wears away, basically it goes away because of the elements, we might say, for example, because of maybe friction and things like that. You should check him out. He's like super very famous. The famous very famous American musician. Yeah. Yes, wear away. So something wears away, it goes away because of the element. So basically to whatever this is, something. Yeah, that is enough. Erode, exactly. Erode. Yeah, where it gets like roads might erode their next to the sea, for example. The sea will take away the land over time. Wears it away. Erode. R-O-D-E. Let's put that in here. Bothered. Oh, we saw this one the other day. I'm going to talk about words that we remember or not. I know we learned this one, kind of. At one point. I don't know if we were here or not. Let's get another letter in here, though, first. 37 across. 37. A crater part? A crater, it's like, what is a crater? It's kind of like this, sort of like this imprint. Not like an imprint necessarily, but usually like this bowl-shaped thing, often maybe left behind from like a comet or a meteor impact or something like that. I'm going to show a crater. This is a crater. There is a crater. And this outer part is the rim. Exactly. R-I-M. R-I-M. Crater part. Yeah, this edge here. It's gonna be the rim. Right here. That's a crater. Is it's basically the outer edge of the crater. Kind of like the lip of it, or we might say. Outer edge of it. Let's see it. Okay, exactly. Ridge could be, maybe ridge could be another word that we might just use to describe this. Maybe potentially. A ridge is kind of more sort of like on a mountain or like a hill or something. Sort of where, sort of like one where it like kind of like comes together. Let's see. What a ridge would look like. Here's a sort of a picture of a ridge. Kind of. Yeah, I think ridge was what you were looking for. You can kind of see in this picture here where there are like these two sort of like parts of like land that come together, and it sort of like forms this sort of like this edge here. So that is ridge. That's what that is. And here we're looking for rim. Or oil rig. Okay, oil rig. Yeah. Alrighty. What else? Othered by rulers. Yeah, let's see if we remember this one. This was a kind of a word that we had the other. I don't know if we're gonna get this. We might, maybe. But we use this word often talking about animals, actually. Especially horses. Yeah, if you father, we would say, you know, somebody like someone, usually a male, right? Fathers a child, for example. So they have a child, right? Basically that's what like this means. So this word here, an animal who S-I something, a child, basically had a child, basically. We're looking for a past form of the verb here. We see fathered, so this is going to be past. So there is a D here. I'll put the D here. But yeah, a word that we would use usually for horses. A male parent. You have to become the male parent of an animal. Father of a child. Yes, we did see this one. I knew, right? Yes. Sired, exactly. Yeah, this one came up the other, like, I don't know, a little bit ago. But yeah, exactly. Sired. That is the one that we want. And usually we would only use this for talking about horses. So, you don't typically use it for talking about people. We would use fathered for talking about people, but we would use sired usually for horses. So the foal, that is a young horse, was sired by a cup-winning racehorse. So what about mothered? Mothered we would use for the woman. So, you know, you would mother. And mother too, like, so sired or fathered means that, like, you were the person to, like, you're the one to basically be like the father of like this person, whereas mothered is more like taking care of somebody. We wouldn't say that, you know, somebody was like, a child was mothered by a woman. We would say that a child was, you know, given birth by a woman, right? Or, you know, she gave birth to somebody. If you mother someone, it's more like you take care of them. I'm just trying to get a... Yeah, it means to mother someone. Means to treat a person with great kindness and love and basically treat them like you were your mother or something like that. So often we use this actually sort of in a negative sense, actually. You know, stop mothering her. She's 40 years old and can take care of herself. We often use it for people who are maybe a bit overbearing or something. So that's usually what it means to mother somebody. You know, so like take care of them as if they were your child. So a little bit of a difference in meaning there. So to father a child means to be the person responsible for creating the child, whereas if you mother somebody, you take care of them and you nurture them and treat them like a child, basically. So I hope that makes sense. All right, let's do pub drink. This one here, 41 down. So one that comes up all the time in the crossword, right? Some sort of drink we're going to get at a pub. An alcoholic drink. So pub, sort of another word for a bar, right? Sort of a bit of a casual atmosphere. Usually you might be able to get some food and some drink there, right? They're very common. So we're not going to get gin. A pub is like sort of a typical, it's a very typical sort of like English thing, right? It's a classic sort of like English style bar. Ale. Always and always. It's always going to be ale. I know. We're always going to get ale at the pub. We could get gin at the bar as well too, but usually we go to the pub to get a beer, basically. A-L-E. You go to the pub, gonna get a beer. So let's put that here. A-L-E. All right. What here? What else? 43, this tribal leader. So a tribe, it's a group of people, right? It's a group of people who live together, basically, you know, like an Indian tribe or something like that. And the people who are sort of the leaders, who are sort of like the most knowledgeable, typically like the oldest, are known as whatever this is. And something LDER is sort of well respected, sort of older member. The tribe, an elder, exactly. ELDER, exactly. Yeah, and usually this is how we use the word elder, because sometimes I see people being like, oh, this is my elder brother. We don't usually say elder brother, or it's very like an elder brother, elder sister. We don't usually talk that way, or it's very outdated. We would say my older brother, my older sister. But we would use elder more as a noun usually to refer to maybe like older, sort of senior, prominent members of a community or something, you know, respect your elders, you know, you might say something like that. So this is kind of little important thing to keep in mind, that we don't usually use elder as an adjective to refer to somebody who is older. Like you just will sound a little bit weird. All right, what else do we got here? Oboe parts. Oboes have two of these. Oh, an oboe is an instrument. I wonder if we'll know this one. An oboe is a wind instrument. That you find in like an orchestra, for example. I'm gonna get a picture of an oboe so we can see what it is. Here's an illustration of an oboe. And oboes are interesting. I mean, I don't know if you've like played one of these or been around one, but there's a part that you stick in your mouth. And so other instruments will have these as well, like clarinets and saxophones. It's like this little this little wooden bit that goes in your mouth. But oboes are interesting because they actually just have like two of these things. And there's no real mouthpiece per se. Like you just have to, I've never actually played an oboe. But yeah, there's no like, they're a little different from other things. These things are reeds, exactly. They have two reeds that you put in your mouth and then they vibrate together and that creates the noise, R-E, or I should say, not the noise, but the music that makes the sound. So reeds. Reeds are the little wooden bits that go in the musician's mouth. So that is what that is. And I'm gonna get a picture, maybe a picture of a reed. I mean, not that it... they're kind of like this little thing here. Okay, anyways, yes, reeds. What else here? Let's do this one. I kind of know what this one is, sort of. Well, but I think we can get this one. New Zealand native. So like the native, we were talking about tribes earlier. So native, like basically the Aboriginal people living in New Zealand, sort of the tribe there, I guess we could say. Something A-O-R, Aboriginal or native people. We would say indigenous to New Zealand. Indigenous, there we go, indigenous. They were there first, basically, the Maori, yes. Exactly, I read about them once in my English assignments. Yeah, the Maori. Exactly, they are the indigenous people to New Zealand. Exactly, M-O-R-I. So close to getting done. Yes. So we either have 36 here, a spike of film. You want to let me know what that one is? I think this one is an interesting one. 27 down. One who plots. Someone who plots. If you plot something, you make a plan, basically, or you whatever this one is. C-H something something E-R Lee, exactly. So we have Lee or schemer. You would scheme. You scheme. So somebody who is plotting might be a schemer. Exactly. So let's do that. I think we got it. We got it. Nice. Great job, everybody. That was great. I'm glad we got through that. So good. Yay. So yeah, so give yourselves a round of applause. Because you really did good. It was great to work together and figure out some of these. So awesome. Awesome as usual. So I will be back, I guess, next week at the same time for another crossword. So next Monday, what is this, 1300 UTC. I'll be back for another crossword. Yes, champagne for everybody. We're back for another crossword. As usual, if you are interested in doing some English thing outside of this with me, you're more than welcome to send me an email or send me a message on Telegram. So either email getspeakingenglish@gmail.com or Axel of Get Speaking English on Telegram. Because right now I am offering $15 conversational classes. So that is an option. So usually what happens to conversational classes, I will send people an article or something, and then we will come and we will talk about that article. And that is how that works. So that is open. If you're interested in that, just contact me. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. I'll see you all next Monday. Hope you all have a really good week. Thanks again for helping me out. As always, a pleasure doing this with you guys. I have a lot of fun. So thanks again. And I will see you guys all next time. Okay, bye.